It appears that game is over, and I'm not allowed to stream again. Cool. We'll see how long this goes and how long until we have another crash. Good to be live. Good to finally be able to chat about a bunch of these things. I've been super hyped, and now we get to talk about it finally. Just getting all my dashboards open. I had to reboot my computer, so I have literally nothing prepared at all at the moment. Looks like YouTube is up. Nice. Sorry again about the delay, everybody. I had endless crashes, and now they seem less endless. I don't know why everything's bitching about bitrate right now. It seems fine to me. How's the quality on Twitch looking? Fine over there? Any quality issues? Just not sure if my encoder's being annoying. Looks good. Sound good. Everything seemed good. I wish Discord was willing to like be more horizontal than it is. Or shorter horizontally than it is. Setting up my monitor to monitor all of this stuff is annoying. 3. Cool. I think I have this all working now. Good stuff. I can turn my overlay back on. Is that not even working? What? Don't tell me my automations are broken. Ah! The reboot broke my Stream Deck for some reason. Why? I'm doing a fresh Windows install after this stream. This is too much, even for me. Okay, my Stream Deck works again. Nice, which means that automation, yay, my things are working again. I'm a tiny bit hungover. My voice is entirely gone just from like talking to people in a fucking club nonstop. Well, God damn it, you guys with the gifts. I need to thank you all in a minute, but a quick shout out for the 25 gifts to open the stream. God damn, we're not even started yet. I'm still trying to get all my stuff working. Really appreciate you all. It's the best fucking community. Yeah, this morning in particular, my voice was entirely gone. It started coming better now that I'm like drinking tea and coming to life. But yeah, this stream is going to be a little bit chiller than usual, energy-wise, but probably a little more chaotic content-wise. So hopefully that will balance out. I need to tweet the link. I don't even have the promo pic on this computer. Fuck, I need to do this on here. Twitch.tv/Theo. NextConf Live. Sent. Tweets up. Last step is Discord. Let's chat NextJS Conf. They get to 1,800 people. Promo. Nice. Think I'm done promoting everything everywhere. Let's actually start the stream. Holy shit. We just hit max boost level and I haven't even opened anything yet. You guys are insane. Level 7, 2,000 recs so far. Goddamn, guys. I appreciate y'all so much. It's absolutely nuts. Got Gabrielle with the tier 3 resub 4 months in. Cooper resubbing at tier 3 as well. Appreciate you a ton, man. Crow's 4K with the 1 month resub 5 months in now. Appreciate it a ton. Imensa with the 25 gifts before I'd even like started acknowledging y'all. Appreciate you all so much. Over a Dev with the 5 month resub. Sri with the 2 month resub. Formerly Science with the 4 months in now. Or BRK. Yeah, we'll call you BRK with the 5 months resubbed. Y'all have these insanely long subs. In Abramsterdam, I believe. Appreciate you a ton with the Prime 2 months in. Wow, as soon as I scrolled down, I had to scroll back up and see way more. You guys are crazy. I love it. Forgot it's Wednesday. Honestly, I almost did too. I felt more and more like yesterday was Wednesday. It's just been such a crazy week with all the stuff, but it's been nuts, and I'm super happy that we've been able to take part in all of this chaos. Let me full screen this so it has a little more room. The Sun Absolute with the Prime, 3 months. Flap with 3 months. And Merc with the 4 months. Mr. Sir with a month. Fienberg with Prime. Breton with Prime. Distracted by Imensa doing another 25 bomb. What the shit, man. Appreciate it so much. Wait, Tomo's here too. Fuck yeah. Thank you, Tomo. So good to have you here, man. Could somebody make sure Tomo gets a gift sub quick? If anyone deserves one, Tomo does. Hey, where was I? I was at Sir. So yeah, Fainberg, Pretty, and No Good Nick. No Good, you're the tier 3 sub. Appreciate that a ton. Thank you all for the Prime subs too. Cello, Default, Tasty, Civicoro. Appreciate all of you. Prime sub, tier 1s, whatever you can do to support us and not get ads. Appreciate it a ton. And if you're not already in the Discord, being a sub here gets you access to the sub-only channel in the Discord, which is a super cool place to hang out. It's where I tend to be a little more off the cuff. There's also a separate tier 3 channel, which is even more chaotic, but very private. And I feel bad shilling that because you don't need to be paying $25 a month. Yo, Juiced, Gift and Tomo. Appreciate that a ton. Very much deserves it. Just to have you here, man. So I didn't know you were partnered. Good shit. Well deserved. The tier 3 club. Yeah, Ryan hangs out in sub only all the time. He's always posting stuff there. It's super cool seeing him chilling there. It's a super cool community. I'm pumped with the crowd that we have built. Realizing I need to actually put the things I want to talk about in Notion or I'm going to forget. Your resub didn't appear. Oh, it's here now. Appreciate you a ton. Urshian. Unseen as well. I'm Haedicus. All with the primes. Appreciate a ton. Eaglo with a prime as well. Got William Welsh with the tier 1. Dark with the resub tier 1. Leet Rose hating ads. Appreciate that as well. Weirdest thing I heard on NextConf. Like on the stage or overall. It's a lot of things I'm probably not able to talk about. But there's definitely a few I can. I'll think a bit on that one. Stream video quality seems to be down. Oh. Is that just on YouTube, it seems? Interesting. Good to know. I am not getting any indication on my end, at least, that there's a quality problem. But what I am getting an indication of is the 300 people watching on YouTube with only 52 likes. So if you can, hit that like button. Should be right around here. And likes are free. They help the channel a ton. And if for some reason you're not subscribed, obviously, fix that too. Anyways, I needed to get Notion open so I could actually prepare for all the things we want to talk about. Notion is open. New topic 1. And Cool. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. I'll be real. There's so much shit. Kind of want to do a brief overview or like a reaction to my talk or something, but I honestly kind of just want to dive right into Next 13 and play with it because I legitimately have not had a chance. Tanner's not in my apartment. He actually did manage to snag a hotel. Super fun hanging with him finally. Huge shout out to Tanner. It was incredible getting to see him and chill. And like just meeting all these people I've been friends with forever finally was surreal. Yeah, my voice is going to be interesting this stream. Early apologies. Phil, let's see the appeal of more speed. It's actually one of the things I wanted to talk about a bit. We'll get to that. But the TLDR is once you get to a certain size, you lose a lot of the like agility that you have in a smaller code base simply because it compiles faster. When you hit save, you see the changes faster. Biggest takeaway is that Vercel is committed to pushing the web really far, really fast. And they'll do a lot of crazy shit to make that happen. I had to thank all of the new subjects. I missed a bunch there. Don't know if we hit Eric. Thank you a ton. Dr. Barnabas with the Prime. Developed by Scott with the Prime. The Goldberg with the Prime. Baldy with the resub Prime. 3 months in. Appreciate that a ton. We got 84 gift subs in the level 11 hype train. Absolutely nuts. Thank you guys all a ton. T3Conf, we have a lot to talk about. Yo, Tanner. Good to have you in chat, man. First time chat, too. Good shit. Good to have you here. Here for the anti-Kubernetes rants. Those are already public. You've already seen the YouTube video, I'm sure, by now. Good to have you here, too, Gareth. This is going to be a big one, I have a feeling. We're at 600 viewers already. What the fuck? That's what happens when I don't talk about things. I'm sorry. What? Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. This is going to be an interesting stream. I also am very excited to see what does and doesn't work as expected when I start playing with this. As I mentioned, I have not actually touched Next 13 just yet. Is NextJS a backend? Yes, it is. And I am more than happy to die on this hill. Anyways. Oh, I did meet Midu when I was there. It was fucking awesome meeting Midu. I hung with him and Gonsi a bit on the first day. Super chill dudes. They were great. Meeting Gonsi was fucking awesome. He's the best. Oh, the earthquake. I was like in the top area in the like auditorium when the earthquake happened, and I was like, I thought my leg was shaking or some shit, and I was like nervous for some reason, so I was scared to say anything about it. And then I checked Twitter and saw there was an actual earthquake. It doesn't dev anymore. I hate that I do spend more time thinking about thumbnails than writing code right now. Like that is a reasonable call out. That is the reality I'm living in at this point in time. I really need to set up the time me out thing to time people out. I'm sorry that my mods have to deal with that one for me. Think that we're ready to start chatting. Maybe write some code. My cat needs to be kicked out. Give me one moment to do that. Probably not going to put those back on. I can monitor myself fine. When I opened the door, I stared at the counter that has my brand new Quest Pro on it that I got to set up, play about 30 seconds of Beat Saber on, and then go to bed last night. Is my camera on focus? And unfocused. There we go. Is it worth throwing together small personal projects with the latest Next stuff? Don't know if it has to be the latest Next stuff. Honestly, I still think Create T3 app is a really great and stable way to play with full stack, especially like if you want to add more backend to front end stuff. And honestly, like a lot of what T3 stack is, almost all of the libraries in it are backend libraries like Prisma, NextAuth, and TRPC. Those are all backend libraries. I think it might be time to write some code. No, we're not doing proprietary options. No. Do I think TRPC will still be useful in X13? Absolutely, I do. We're already working on some fun things with it. Yes, it will be very useful. It has its own batching stuff that is fantastic. It has a mutation layer. It has a better cache layer. It has a bunch of things that aren't even considerations of server components in Next13. Actually, let's start with this. NextJS. You'll have that open, but more importantly, we need to get Excalibur on. Stream, create. So, I promise I'd get better at naming things when I make them. It's a little annoying. It should be like a prompt when you set stuff up. NextJS 13. So, first and foremost, I'm gonna hit the marker button. This is gonna be a good one. Cool, marked. Next.js 13 and application or app life cycles. What I want to talk about for a bit here is app life cycles, Next 13, and the relationship between all these things. So, Next 13 is a massive change. The ways in which we define the structures of our applications and render them on the server is fundamentally different. It is way easier to fill your application with data correctly, both data that the server generates as well as the data that the client generates. So if we have like one of my favorite lines where on one side we have the server, and on the other side, so I'm going to put this here. I'll put this here. You have the user on the other side. What Next.js was doing was this area here. Fill this in. Next rendering content. So, I don't necessarily like that. So there's the server. We'll say that's on AWS or something like that. So here we'll have AWS. We have like Vercel as a layer in front. Then we have Next. Then we have React. Or we have the HTML that the user gets. Then we have React. AWS. Vercel. Next.js. React. HTML, DOM, user. So a user makes a request that goes to the Vercel system or servers that are really just AWS servers. They run code, which is your Next.js code. And then that has React within it that creates HTML and DOM entities. I'm liking this way of doing this less and less. I'm trying to rethink this one. This is a hard thing to communicate. Thinking. I kind of want a graph here, but I have a specific trick I want to pull with this. I want this to be 2D. So actually, yeah, I'm going to bring these back, but not do it this way. We're going to do it through the history of a request. So server receives a request. Receive request. And then we process request. Fuck. Wait, I just saw a message from Gareth. The AWS servers that Vercel is running are actually Lambda. It's entirely built on top of Lambda. So not EKS and ECS. EKS and ECS might be used for Lambda internally at AWS, but Lambda itself is what's used there. Yeah, trying to think. Okay, so server, I'm just gonna do the text. So editor, chop all of the nonsense I just did, start here. Okay, so we have a request that the server receives and it has to respond to. So for the server to respond to the request, it has to process it, which we'll just count as part of the request. It has to identify code to run for request. Then it runs that code. No, come on. Why did my capture card just randomly fail on me? Okay, that's what? Okay, more things to chop. So run that code. And yeah, I'll just say run that code. Use that code to generate response. And then send response to user. Most of what we talked about at NextConf was very specifically this area here. So between once the request is processed and stuff is sent to the user, this area has been optimized a ton. It is way easier now to build pieces, and it is way easier to componentize your routing, your data, and your components in a way where you have a much more logical structure for how the server generates the first set of data in the HTML for the user. But there's an important thing it doesn't do. And the reason I drew this diagram is that this line doesn't stop here. This keeps going. So we have the user, but what we have here is a long-lived session. And once this first request has gone through, so in the middle here, it's first paint. All of what we've talked about so far is first paint. How we get the initial data to the user. It's not how we update it. What happens when the data that we fetched is changed because a user makes a mutation locally? Let's say there's a form. So in this case, the user is updating their profile data with a form. So at this point, the user, I probably should have done this horizontally or vertically instead of horizontally, but user, zoom in a bit. User has content. At some point here, user inputs data into form. User submits form to server. Client update, or user, I'll say client updates with new data. So if I have a page, let's say, that has like my user info on something like Twitter, where it says my name, my username, my handle, my description or bio, whatever, and I hit edit and I change those things, what forces the components underneath to actually be different when I hit save? None of what Next talked about today does that. None of what NextJS talked about and the Vercel team talked about at NextConf addresses anything past this line. I think that's very important to understand when we talk about Next 13 and all of the cool things that are changing with it. They are much more app friendly now, but they are not more app friendly in the long-lived session sense. They are more app friendly in the architecture of an application up to this point sense. Something like Remix is much more cognizant of this side too. And they have a very prescriptive way of doing that I don't necessarily agree with. But Remix cares way more about this side, and we have not seen any of that here. That doesn't mean this is bad. It's actually really cool stuff, and I want to talk a lot about it. But I want to make sure we have a shared understanding before we go in of what Next does. Next.js does this. Not this. Hopefully this makes things clear. And when I get asked, does this change T3 stack? No, because T3 stack is much less concerned about this side and way more concerned about this side. In fact, we actually, up until now, have kind of recommended ignoring this part as much as possible. Because what this part is get server-side props. And if we can, instead of using get server-side props to generate that first pass on the page, we can have static pages that have minimal data that is then requested, updated, and managed by the client as simply as possible through things like React Query, things like TRPC, things like good webhooks or WebSocket providers. That's what this side is. And we have kind of chosen to compromise this part in order to make this part as good as possible. That is the thing that is so exciting right now, is with the new primitives that NextJS is providing us with version 13, it makes way more sense for T3 stack to do stuff on this side. Finally. It's been hard to justify for a while, but now we can, and I am hyped. Any questions so far? Hey, Theo, I have a question. First of all, how dare you? How is it better? Cool. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about here. Excalidra's marketing department equals Theo. No, I chatted with some Excalibur folks at NextConf. They were super chill. I love Excalibur, obviously, but I want to be very clear. The reason Excalibur is catching on, and the reason that people are seeing more of it isn't me using it so much as the reason I'm using it and the reason people are seeing it and using it more are the same. It's because it's really good. I use things that are good and I find them slightly early, but they catch on not because I'm using them, but because they're good. There's a lot of things I use that aren't good, that don't catch on. But the things that are good that I use tend to catch on not because I'm using them, but because they are good. Anyways, shall we play? I want to try this shit. So I am diving into code fresh. First off, I want to find the tweet I made about the type safety because I need this flag because otherwise I will forget it. And we switch the terminal, tmux, cd stream, mpx create next app at latest. Notice something. Didn't have to --ts here. Next 13 play. cd next 13 play. Open this guy up. So first thing, look at that. TypeScript by default. Such a nice change. So overdue. I like that this is using children. Export default function home. Cool. Trying to think of the first fun async thing we can do here. Let's start just by fetching some stuff. Well, first I should run this. npm install, npm run dev. Localhost. Cool. Dark mode. Finally. Contains. Yeah, sure. We can use a different TypeScript version. I think my VS Code's behind. Why did this get auto-modified? Yeah, that's confusing. Anyways. What I wanted to try is getting some data. A const GitHub profile. You'll see why I'm naming it that right now. Equals await. Ha! You haven't picked a good user. Heart default. Async. And we'll console log this. Aha. So ready? This is the trippy part. This is where things are going to feel very weird. Notice that console log's not happening in the console here. Yeah, this is so different. This is so weird. It's so cool. So the reason why that's not happening is happening here instead, because that code only runs on the server. Since this is an async component, this will only run on server, not on client. Just mind-bogglingly different. So cool. I am hyped. Dot. Cool. And now I should have the JSON response here. And in here, I'll change this text to be GitHub profile.name has works for me. Look at that. I need to close the main. That's so cool. That's so cool. I'm just geeking. So, what's happening here that is so mind-bogglingly different from what I'm used to with NextJS is that this component is not a traditional component in the sense that, like, I couldn't throw a hook here. Let's see what happens if I try. Need to import use state. What? Yeah, I know I can't use use state in them. I'm trying to see what happens. This is a test to see what and how it breaks. Button on click equals. Remember, guys, I'm playing with this because I'm new with it too. Haha, use state is not a function or its return value is not iterable. There should be a better error for that. There should be a much better error for that. Yeah, they need to be a lot less bad about that. So let's see how we do this the right way. I'm going to make a folder named components. Make sure it is not there. Move. Now we have components. I'm going to make a new test.tsx. Export const counter. Amazed Copilot's not going to complete this one for me. There we go. Thank you, Copilot. Let's see what happens here. Same deal, because, and this is probably the thing I'm most annoyed about, we have to use client. And now this button is told by React to not run on the server, rather just run on the client. And I'm not putting the count anywhere, so I'll render this here. Wrong. There we go. That was weird. Did the hot reload not work? That looks like it's working. Yeah. Interesting. What is more interesting is if I duplicate this and I don't put the use client here, rename this to test2. I'll name this count or another counter. Since this guy's already a client component, I should be able to just drop this guy in and not have to worry about it. Yeah, I don't have to worry about it for the second one because the second one is being imported by here or in something that's already client side. But if I was to move this here, we'll get the error because the top of the chain isn't called by a use client. If you call a thing with hooks inside of a server component, you need to be very careful to deal with that. And it's sad that like that isn't something TypeScript can do. Ideally, there will be like linters and tools that will be able to identify that. So like when you try and mount something that has a hook in it and you're trying to mount that in something that is async and it doesn't have a use client, it could call that out. Is adding use client the only way to say it's a client component? At the moment, I believe so, yes. Would have been nice, and this is something like Astro has, so I'm admittedly Astro-pilled. Client load would be dope. But I get why they don't do it. Yeah. It'll be very unclear. I could see this being annoying, and like I saw Gareth mention, like your build chain and stuff like that. But it is a much more reasonable compromise than some of the things they were doing previously in order to make async server components viable. Somebody asked, what if the top level page isn't async and it calls something async? I'm going to do you one better. We're going to do the opposite. Not the opposite. We're going to do something that I recently learned about that was interesting. Let's move this guy out to GitHub info.tsx. And let's even take an input here. So we'll name string. And I will be lazy and concat that. Instead of home, we'll name this GitHub info. And we want to mount this async component in here. And this is the thing that they didn't tell you about Next 14 or Next 13. Fuck. And I'm going to hit the clip button because I'm about to film another video on this all. I'm sorry to my editors, but there's one big thing that they hid from you at NextConf. It was an incredible set of releases and really cool stuff shipping, but they snuck one by us, and I think it's important that we call it out. Calling an async component from an async component does not work with the type definitions for JSX. So this async component, GitHub info, that we have here, traditional server component in Next, default async function, get some stuff, pass this, whatever. Here it needs a name, so we'll just give it a name, equals Vercel. But we're still getting a type error. Why are we still getting a type error here? The reason is you cannot use a promise as a JSX component. Supposedly, both React and Vercel have been trying to get Microsoft to, at the very least, add a shim in where they can override these things, but they didn't get it in time. It's been years. They don't have it. As any won't even work here because the type definition's a layer higher. I do believe there is a solution for this. NextJS 13 docs. This is not the beta next docs. Here we go. I want to find... They don't have search on the beta docs yet. Fuck. Over components. Why the hell is there no clear place? I know that Malta mentioned that he had a solution for this. This is going to be a really annoying video to edit. I'm sorry, Mir. Streaming in suspense? No. Anybody wants to link this in chat? I know that Malta made a like wrapper that you can cast over the component. That's a really useful doc here. We'll talk about this later. Fetching. Keeping server only code out of client. Yep. It's all really good stuff that they have here. But configuring TypeScript maybe. Anybody find the link for this? I don't know if like it's going to be searched or indexed yet. Async types. Let's see. Haha. We're working with the TypeScript team to resolve this upstream. Malta! I'm DMing him quick. Cool. Just ask Malta for a link to that. Hopefully he will get back to me soon. I know how to check these too. It's XCQ is the URL end for fucking Never Gonna Give You Up. I know it. I don't know how I fell for that. I didn't fall for it. I didn't play it. I checked, but yeah, fucking trolls. Anyways. Jesus, YouTube viewership is nuts right now too. I see 815 of y'all are watching on YouTube. I appreciate you immensely, but I've also noticed only 200 of you hit the like button. It's right here. It's free to hit the like button. Helps us out a lot. If you don't mind hitting it, appreciate it a ton. Thank you all for being here. Anyways, let me actually go back here for a sec so I can see if I got a reply. No reply. Malta. Yeah, they don't have a... Do this by wrapping both components in another. Every component is a child or prop of a... Interesting. God, there's so much weird shit I'm going to have to read about here. Somebody link it? Nope. One last twit check. Yeah, I don't feel like waiting for that, so I will be retaking this one once I have the link that I need. Wait, did somebody editor config? No, this does not solve the problem. So guys, to be very clear, the problem is that JSX does not support promises via in TypeScript. This works. Like if I save this and run this code, the site will work. Oh, it's not going to resolve the styles, but I'm not using those anyways. I can kill that. Oh, I am using the styles. Fuck. There we go. Cool. See, it works fine. It's just that TypeScript is not smart enough to know that you can do async components in JSX now, because historically you've not been able to. I could TS ignore or TS expect error, but the point is I was trying to make a video about this thing that didn't get fixed in time. Yeah, Malta said he has a shim that he made. He told me about it, and I thought it was documented, but it appears it was not. So, yeah. We have to cast the type differently. Regardless, this doesn't work right now. They need to fix it. We can still have more fun with this, though. Let's do things the right way here. Let's make 2 pages. We're going to make one that is followers, and we're going to make one that is user. So what we have here with like the GitHub info, this is much more like the followers. So I'm just going to move this here for now, but we're going to rename it to name.tsx. Actually not sure how these come through. Kind of just want to take all the props and see what we get when we hit this. Props, console.log, props for route, props. Which one did I just do that in? I did that in the wrong file. That's fine. It's actually not fine. That's annoying. And we will change this to be hard-coded again. I'll leave it as plus name and just cast name to name equals Theo BR. And I just want to see what happens when I go to this page. Local host 3000, followers Theo. Cannot resolve. God damn it. I hate CSS so much. Cannot be found. Oh, because it has to be page.tsx. Yep. Move. And this is page.tsx. Cool. Module build failed because I have to escape this up one more layer. Nope, infinite refresh is even better. Cool. What would cause that? Failed to read. Oh, it's named name.tsx? No, it's not. I renamed it, fuckers. It's SWC dying. This will be fine now. Oh, because I have that page that's still importing it. Fuck. I'm going to kill this. div hi. Oh, it'll stop bitching, hopefully. Cool. Now it'll stop bitching. Why does my whole setup is broken right now? I want to die. Everything isn't working. I'm going to just unplug this cable and hope that helps some amount. Nope. Attempt 2. Okay. This is working again. Localhost 3000 / followers Theo. Cool. Well, it should be Theo BR, not Theo, for it to actually be my profile. Let's take a look here. What I wanted to see is what we're actually console logging. Props for route params name. Oh, we get search params there too. Fucking finally. Oh man, that's so good. That's genuinely so good. Type safety is still annoying here. Let's look at the docs and see if they have an example of route params. That's the roadmap. What I want is an example where we actually... Oh, they tell you to define it yourself. Inker. Params is name. And we're not actually using search params, so we don't need that. And we want params.name here. And now, change this to for cell. Nice. Good shit. Where things get really crazy, though, is when we start structuring things. So we have this as the followers page. I want to copy this directory. Copy. Paste. And on this page, I want to post or show something different. Let's do... I don't know what else is on this. Let me check in terminal. I'll just do this, and I'll put a tag under h3 company GitHub profile dot company, I think is the option I saw here. Yeah, cool. So we have a different page that's users or user for cell. Let me put user Theo BR. Cool. I want to delete the counter because we don't need that for anything really. Reason I did all this is I wanted to have two different routes, two different pages that have a lot in common. Let's say now we want to have a top nav. This is where things get really cool. We have a shared parent here where both of these folders, followers and users, are both in app. And there's a thing here, layout. And in here, I could div for the children there, but more importantly, div. Do I want to set up Tailwind for this? Nah. Dial equals width 100 VW, height 100 VH, display, flex, direction, column. And this should be display flex. And this should wrap everything. But in here, I want to have a top nav, style equals height. We'll just give it 20 px background. Pink. Top nav. I have to make it widthful. 100 VW. And now we have a top nav. But wait, how? Why? This is a different file. What Next13 does now is all of the layouts that are above the directory you are in or in the directory you're in for your page get applied on top of all of them. So the home page will have this now. the users will have this now and followers will have this now. And if we wanted to just have these two have it, we could make a profiles folder. The parentheses tells Next, okay, these things don't actually exist in the URL, so ignore them. What? That's not what I moved. God, that did not do what I expected it to. I wanted to move this folder over. I'm doing this in Finder. Did I move? Yeah, I moved that out of the wrong thing. So I'll move this first, put this back in there, move this over too. And now if I move layouts to here, it will... Did I name that wrong? Is my naming wrong for the parentheses thing? No, I did it right. The parentheses are right. Oh, it's because of the fucking imports being broken again. I'm setting up Tailwind. Every time I use anything else, I want to die constantly. All the freaking fanboys of CSS modules. Why? Cool. So now we have this page has the top nav. User, Theo. It's failing to compile. But it's the same. I want to use the same CSS for all of them. I don't want to copy paste the exact same CSS 3 times. That's the right number of directories. It's not 4, is it? I worked on this one on this one. What the fuck? So why would it work on that one and not followers? Oh, it's broken on both. The fuck? Four up? I am so close to just saying fuck this and literally refilming the whole video using Tailwind because I can't stand CSS modules. Like, they're not type safe. I don't know if this exists or not. I could literally go fucking nowhere. It doesn't matter because it doesn't check shit. Okay, so you go up to users, to profiles, to app. It should be 3. Then page module CSS is right there. This is the right... Oh, it's the root layout? No, this doesn't even fucking do it. Wait, where did my layout go with all the shit I did to it? What? Where did my layout file go? This is that one, but this is not the one I edited. I had a layout file I edited with a bunch of shit in it. Okay, if I command Z enough, it reappears somehow. How did it disappear in the fucking first place, though? Okay, can it say which file this is happening in? CSS modules make me want to die. Why? Just gonna move it down one and see what happens. Move. Delete one of these. Delete one of these. I'm not importing this anywhere anymore. This is literally not code that exists in this code base. What the fuck was I editing? Why does this still exist? I literally moved that folder. Now it's hanging. Cool. And as you guys can see, the CSS is working great. Why did this reset itself again? The file is just overriding itself. Do I need to have that root layout at the top level maybe? Is that what it's mad about? This is awful. I'll throw that in there so hopefully it stops bitching, and then I'll do what I want to in this one. That appears to work. Cool. And now it's doing what it's supposed to. The layout applies on the 2 pages in that parenthesis folder. So followers and user both have the same layout applied. So you could do a bunch of styling in here. You could have a side nav in here. You could do, hell, I'm actually curious. Does this work as a server component? It's not smart enough to get me this guy, so I will do that myself. Yoink. Yoink. I'll just hardcode this to Theo BR for now. Some other things I want to try. Console.log. Did this work? Profile. I'm going to kill the one in here, just the log. I already did, so it won't be as annoying. Look at that. You can do async layouts. That is massive. Why would I ever want to do this? I have a pretty fun use case. So the first thing I want to do is I want to slightly re-architect this. Right now it's /thing/user. I want to flip that. I want /user/thing, and there's a reason for that. So we're going to make a new folder, name. I'm going to move this guy in here. I'm going to move this guy in here. I'm going to move this guy out. And I'm going to move this guy out. And I can delete this. And this. The reason I did all that is now that the name is first, this is info that the layout will have. And because the layout has this info, I can use it here. So if I yoink this, and I put this here, I need to give params a type. Name. One of the things I don't like as much about file-based routing is the types are still your problem. But at the very least, I now have this in here, which is cool because in the top nav I can say, hi, GitHub profile.name. Let's see what's broken. Oh, that's because I TOBR followers. Oh, yep. I don't need that global import here anyways. Weird how the layout's breaking. Oh, because I'm not applying that here. Import /globals.css. There we go. And now it will say my name, and it will do that fetch here. And all of the pages that are under this, so it's going to be TOBR followers, TOBR users, or user. Why does this one not work? Here? Yeah? Am I getting rate limited? API rate limit exceeded. Great. So it was working until I hit the API too often. IP leak, whatever. It's going to happen a lot. Anyways. Need a better API to hit. Anybody got a fun one? Pokemon API, yeah. Cool, let's use this instead. So I'm gonna find and replace this. Actually, what we'll do, because this is something we can do, we'll make a folder that is fetch or server funcs. I'll move this up out here. That's why I like having a slash source. Server funcs, new file, fetch info.ts, export const get info equals async, name string, turn await fetch plus name dot JSON. Cool. Should probably give this a type. They have type defs for this. I could just install Pokenode. It has good type defs built in. Eh, too much work. I'm just going to generate a type def off of this. I'll copy this URL, yoink type def from JSON, type script from JSON. This is a new one. Oh, I don't want namespace. I just want root object. Why is prettier mad? Oh. These aren't even fucking valid type defs. This is why I don't live code, for those who ask. Shit sucks. Anyways. It's way better types. Cool. And the top type, the one that matters, is root. Nice. And now, pokey profile equals await. Bulbasaur. Yeah, we'll go with Bulbasaur. And then we should use this for something. Dot. I'll just do dot name for now. And theoretically, localhost. I'm just gonna do Bulbasaur user for now. What the hell's taking so long? That's Bulbasaur followers. Oh no, that's not great. Ace is being mad. I'll import this. Do params name. Dot moves dot length. Moves. Oh, you know what it is? The fucking API is probably rate limited. So that's changing, right? It's not liking this fetch, I don't think. I thought this API was supposed to be like the easy one to use for things like this. So we're not going to have anything valuable in the network tab. Because it's just hanging on the initial request. Here. Proof there's nothing valuable here. You guys need to understand we're in server world now. What's the 16 kilobyte bug? Can you say what the 16 kilobyte bug is? Because you keep saying the 16 kilobyte bug. And that doesn't mean anything. Is it too much data being returned? Next person to say the 16 kilobyte bug that doesn't say what the fuck it is getting banned. Why would you think this is the problem? Okay, mods, go figure out the first person to say the 16 kilobyte bug and time them out for a day. Back to figuring out what actually is going the fuck on. The layout reset itself again. Wait, no, it's the wrong one. Never mind. It didn't. Okay, cool. My bad. Went too far, too fast. Sorry. Let's see. Console.log. Do we even get this far? Why the fuck does the URL change? Okay, so it's the API not responding. That didn't do it. Guys, it's very, very clearly the problem is this gets hit, this hangs, and we never get here. We can try catch it. That's actually a good idea. Oh yeah, Phelps, thank you for that. I'll go through and gift or thank all you guys in a bit. And Angular is the best with 10 community subs. I'll forgive your name. The fuck. CVS Pokey, like, does it just block you if you run it on a server instead of the client? Hangs on the JSON, someone said in chat. So if I don't JSON parse it, just try that first. Nice. Progress. So the .json call is what's broken. What? What? The double wait. Oh, over awaiting isn't the thing that matters, guys. I'm gonna kill that typecast. Yep, it's literally just the .json does it. That's hilarious. How do I add a banned term? Oh, I know how to do this in mod view. Twitch.tv moderator Theo. Channel actions, blocked terms, enter word or phrase, Axios. Anyways. Is this because they like overrode fresh or fetch? So wait, Phelps, that was $100? What the fuck? Thank you so much, man. That's absurd. I appreciate that immensely. Take a break to thank everybody who's been subbing while I've been bitching. I missed a Dez's gift, so it's definitely earlier. As far as it goes. So need more, appreciate it. Dino, been here forever. Appreciate you a ton. Comp TV, love you. Thank you, man. Raz, Pog, new Nux, oh boy. Made by Johnny with a 3-month on Prime, humming. There is no reason for this all to be breaking this much. I want to die. Anyways. This isn't a Theo hangover stream. This is Theo's computer's hungover for some reason stream. Am I unfocused? I think I'm unfocused. Better. Okay. So, factor thanking people. Adez with the gift sub. You don't need to do gift subs, man. Appreciate it, though. Humming Frequency with the resub. Mel with the Prime sub. Yikes with the Prime sub. Dylan with 6 months in now. Good to see you, man. Phelps with Prime. Ice Lion with the Prime as well. 3 months in. Angular with the 10 gifts. I think he just did another 10, which is nuts. Karen with the Prime. Phelps with a $100 elevator. Thank you again, man. I appreciate that a ton. Judge with the Prime. Sub with the Prime. Drax with the Prime. Angular's the best with the other 10 I mentioned. Joshy with the resub. Glick. M. Sanchez. Yeah, Sanchez. Game. Kern with the Prime sub. Bryn with the Prime. Boston Sheriff with the gift. And then another 20 from Angular. What the hell? I appreciate it a ton, man. What? It's not... How many are you at already? 50. Jesus Christ. Cooper, you have more competition. God. Anyways. Jeez. Who'd you gift one to that was asking? So kind. Thank you a ton, man. Appreciate it a bunch. 1,500 subs again. I didn't think I'd see that number for a long time. Thank you for the resub as well, Angry and Narciso. I'm pumped that you saw the talk and that you enjoyed it. I can't wait for that to be separated out on their YouTube channel so we can watch it ourselves. Cooper, not taking the competition, gifting another 20, putting him at 671 lifetime subs in the channel. That is absurd. Jesus Christ, man. Appreciate it immensely. And then Sanchez joining in with a 20 bomb. God. I love you guys so much. This is absolutely nuts. This is surreal. This might end up being absurd. Plus, we're at almost 900 viewers here. We have another 700 plus on YouTube as well right now. Thank you all so much. Jesus. Jesus Christ. Marco with a 50 bomb. and Sleepy Bookworm with 5 and top. Jesus. The 50 bomb. Holy shit, guys. You're all the best. Give a bunch of love to Marco, Sleepy, Sanchez, Cooper. Angular is the best. All these guys deserve a bunch of love, even if one of them is forcing me to say Angular is the best over and over and over again. I see what you're doing there. To be clear, I don't think this bug is the 16 kilobyte thing. I think that this is because the response is an array, is what it seems like. Guys, it's not a parens thing. I promise you. Here, I'll prove it. Const fresh const res equals await, or response, I called it later, equals await fresh.json. There. Now it cannot be parens, and it will still break the same exact way. See, it is still hanging. The 16 kilobyte guy, you can untime him out. If whoever timed him out, untime him out. But strictly, if you're going to say something like that, give me the link to the thing and not a link to a random fucking like Google Chrome issue that's unrelated. Yeah, this makes sense. It's likely an invalid response, technically speaking. Let's get the response quick. Format JSON. This looks fine to me. This is valid JSON. Name might be empty, but I'm not calling it with the empty name. I'm calling it with Bulbasaur. See if this works. Console.log. Did we get a res? Did we get a res? Yeah. It looks like. Hey, why is res not the text? Huh? Nope, we're not even getting that far. Cool. Console.log. Did we get a response at all? Did we parse text? Okay. Okay, cool. So you can't even dot text. What the fuck? Why? Vercel employees report in. I know there's at least one of you here. One, what the fuck is going on? And two, how the fuck do I fix it? Because this is going to make this video much more negative than I want it to be. Guys, I'm only calling one Pokemon. The response is tiny. Like, the response isn't that big. It's readable. I have it open here. Like, here's the response. We're just getting one Pokemon. We're getting more info than just its, like just its name, but it's 1,000 lines of prettified JSON. Guys, it works in everything. It works in, like, the browser. If I just run the same code in the browser, it's going to work. Here, I'll show you. We're going to not call getInfo here. We're going to go to pages legacy.tsx. Export const, or export default function const data set data equals use state. Null. Use effect. Oh, I can use now. I can just use. That's awesome. And if I go to localhost 3000/legacy, oh, that might actually not work because it's, I don't know if use can be used in that or not. App folder, experiment, page.tsx. Where do I put experimental use? We're doing this one the old way. Const data set data equals use effect or use state. Null. Use effect. Get info. And look at that. Works fine if you just do it on client. You can't remove the use client because otherwise it doesn't know to only run that code on client. I'm upset. This should be working much better. This, at the very least, should work. Unless it's running on the server for the first pass, which it shouldn't be. If I close and restart this and then do it, when I load this page, does it hit that? Why does it hit that from this page? It's client. Oh, because it probably does the first pass on the server still. I didn't forget to async the default export. This one isn't supposed to be a server component. This is supposed to be a client component. That's not even worth doing it. I'm going to delete this because I was thinking I might need the loading on top, but I don't because we're just not getting the next part with any of these. Do we get this far? Do we get a response at all? And then nothing else happens. The problem is whenever any fetch call is run on the server side and it has a response that is bigger than a very small amount of JSON and you try to parse it, it just fails spectacularly. React is patching fetch, it seems, and that patch is bad. Maple linked that earlier, and I was scared, but holy shit. Holy shit. I'm checking my DMs quick, one sec. Ooh, I saw fetch is currently not supported in client components and may trigger multiple re-renders. For now, if you need to fetch data in a client component, we recommend using a third-party library such as SWR. Thank you, Sanadoki, for that. Very good to know. This is what we're literally demoing. I know how to do it. Thank you, though. I'm not using another package for fetch, guys. I need to go over the gifts quick because there was a lot of them. Bookworm with another 5 gift subs. Appreciate you a ton. Angular with the 1 month for Stammy. Hope he deserved it. EMB with the Prime sub. Roy with 5 gifts. Thank you, man. I appreciate that a ton. You don't need to be gifted, but appreciate it regardless. A tier 2 from Carl. Good shit. Appreciate that. And then 10 gifts on top of it. Fuck yeah. You guys are the best. This is nuts. We're almost at 1,000 viewers just on Twitch. And then we have another 600 still on YouTube. Good shit. Love y'all. The next time that happens, I'm going to go insane. There's literally no reason for my capture card to be such a shitter right now. I'm gonna unplug and replug my capture card and pray that my problems go away with it. Might just break my OBS though. Hopefully I didn't just freeze my OBS. Let's deactivate and reactivate the capture card. Cool. Think we're good now. Cooper with 33 more gifts. What does that put you at for your total? What the fuck? 704. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, guys. 1667. Oh, you just did that so that we could be over 1700. I see. Good shit. Appreciate you a ton. It's just easier for me to just like have that number public more simply so you guys could see it. I have no reason to hide it. What I want to talk about is this, though. I want to do the things they didn't tell you video. So I really want to do the thing they didn't tell you about video. I think this will be a funny one. So let's close this, guys. That doesn't confuse me. Sure. Wait, no, I don't want to save that. Now my VS Code's frozen. Now my fucking... Literally none of the buttons are working. Ah. Like the one thing that's not supposed to crash is crashing. That's what I get for not coding for a month. Just everything breaks. Cool. Async type safety. Let's set this up a little closer. Do I want to set it up how I want? No. I'm just going to do this. Components. New. It should be named page. It should be info.tsx. Wrong folder. I'm just getting this prepared for the video. I want way less stuff in here. And I want this to be way less chaotic. Anybody have a good API that responds with something really small that I can use for this demo? Why not just fetch smaller things? I want to die. This has been quite the stream. JSON placeholder. Perfect. We have our winner. Really wants me to do that. I wonder who did the demo with this that used that it keeps like pulling from. I'm gonna have a fucking stroke at this rate. Do I want the style? I don't really. Cool. Data. What was the body? Cool. Nice. So I'm going to yoink all of this. Default function, blog post. Nice. And now I'm set up to give this demo. Let's do it. Anyways, here we go. There's something very important about Next 13 that Vercel didn't tell you. It's a annoying gotcha for us TypeScript fans that I think is important to know. Hopefully it'll be fixed soon, but for now, here's the problem. Here's how we're going to solve it. Anyways, one of the coolest things that came with Next 13 in the recent React RFC is the ability to have an async component that you can await things for directly. You can call any promise, await it, and then have the data that comes from that to render on the first pass of your application. So in this case, I'm fetching from a JSON placeholder API that gives me some mock data, in this case, a mock blog post that has a title and a body, and I have an async component that gets this data and returns the stuff. Pretty standard. If I go to the page, you can see I have pretty ugly formatting. It's straight from the default for the new Next or Create Next app. I have the title and I have the blog post. But what happens if I make a component for this instead? See, I have here a blog post component in the components folder that's nearly identical. Actually, it is identical. But let's say I want to mount this here instead. Just going to replace this guy, kill all this code. I don't need the styles anymore. And I'm going to import this. But wait, there's a type error. Why is there a type error? This doesn't need any props. Blog post cannot be used as a JSX element. It returns promise element, not element. And JSX's type definitions in TypeScript do not allow you to return a promise within them. So because this component is async, we have to tell TypeScript, hey, don't worry about it. We're good. We got it. Because TypeScript doesn't believe that an async component can be mounted inside of a JSX blob. Thankfully, good friend Malta, did I close the tab? I did not. Okay, good. Thankfully, our good friend Malta is way ahead of us and has made an annoying, important helper here that you wrap around your components. So what we'll do here is drop this type. And now, if I look at this example, I'm gonna const blog post equals, and this has to be async. What we can do now is wrap that with this async component helper. Turn default or export default blog post. And now the type error goes away and everything still works as expected. This is a nasty hack because it is straight up overriding the type. It is lying to TypeScript saying, pretend this isn't actually unsafe. Pretend this isn't actually an async thing. Just ignore the promise. It literally just takes R, which is the type of what the promise returns, and it returns that instead. Nasty, but necessary hack. Hope that this doesn't stop you from playing with the new async component stuff or server-side components in general. This is a small growing pain, and TypeScript should have these things fixed ASAP. But for now, make sure you know this as you start playing with these things. Otherwise, you're going to be accidentally writing code that is unsafe for no good reason. Hope this was helpful. Really excited about this release. Make sure you keep checking the channel for more. Sub if you haven't. And you should be getting recommended a new video around here that is a lot more on topic and stuff that for some reason YouTube thinks you'll like, which means you'll probably like it. So give that a shot. Also, huge shout out Mir. He's been on the grind. He's doing exams in 3 days, yet he's still churning out these edits. So shout out to him for that. Cool. That should be a good video. Hitting the marker. At least we'll get one out. Can I post the Hackist in chat? Yep. Not sure how far you want this one to be shared, Malta, but that's not a choice anymore. That one's public now. Hopefully this will get fixed fast enough that this video is outdated by the time we're trying to publish it, but I doubt that. Don't think that'll be a TikTok, because nobody's going to be watching TikToks about this stuff who is also using these new beta things. It's just unrealistic audience, in my opinion. Are getting replies. Okay, I have some replies from for sale people. I'm going to check those on my computer here so I don't accidentally leak those. Sorry, I was just sending me getting angry at everything being broken to for sale friends. That will actually probably get it fixed. I missed a bunch of subs. Ken, with the degeneracy continuing, appreciate it a ton. 2 months of primes. No, it wasn't primes, it's tier 1. Thank you, man. And Giller's the best with another 5 gifts. Then gift into individuals who ask too. Don't cave for the people who are grifting, asking for free gift or subs. They'll actually sub if you make them wait long enough. Henrik with tier 1 resub 3 months in. Appreciate that a ton as well. The last video I published about teaching NextJS, I'd say, yeah, it's overall pretty valid. There's a lot of things that are changing, but as we can see here, a lot of those things are broken and shouldn't be used just yet. But yeah, I wouldn't touch NextJS 13 for at least another week or two as some of this noise is calmed down and settled. Because this is this is painful. God, so much shit going on. Entering the page directory. Yep, you can. That's kind of the point. They want it to be like smooth to migrate over. Just command to install next version 13. I replied with that somewhere. Didn't see your earlier question. Yes, I answered the shit out of that earlier. Yeah, it was the beginning of the stream. It was like the first thing I talked about. We're both streamers. He DM'd me and we chatted. Yeah, this is the reply to the person who was asking, how do you get this? Oh, DMs. Yeah. I tried deploying this code? No, not yet. We're not that far. One step at a time. Solution earlier to server components. We're working on a fresh build with that. It's going to be a bit before it's in a good state, but we're getting there, one step at a time. Deploying it won't work and fetch is broken. Okay, you have my interest. Get status, get add a, get commit. Let's test it then. This rate will not be getting to turbo pack this stream. Anyone asking any questions that aren't directly related to NextConf, NextJS, Vercel, or Turbo? What the fuck? Why? And no, I'm not going to answer those right now. Okay, this looks like it works. It's actually fast as shit. This is flying. That's impressive. I want numbers. That's impressive. 15, 20 milliseconds? Huh? Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, the freaking API that it's hitting isn't even that fast. Now I'm way more curious about the caching they're doing, because this is 14 milliseconds. Okay, we're going to make some quick changes. I guess I'm going to set this up as a GitHub repo. GH repo create. Origin. And I can hop here, connect Git, GitHub. And now, I kind of want to go rip my traditional bench code so I can get a good idea request to render time. Let me do that quick. CD. Nope. Cool. Here's T3 bench. And here I have the script tag. Fuck, how did I do this in Next? Next edge, here we are. Index. Oh, yeah. Edge. Oh, benchmarker, this component. Yoink. Components, benchmarker.tsx. Paste. Need to make sure this is use client. There's a bunch of nasty hacks in it. And we'll put benchmarker below here. What is this mad about? Oh, I'm required to have a NextJS 13 perf. Cool. And I'm going to put a dump here. It's div page created at new date dot. I'll just do get time. Get status. Get nope, wrong repo. Make sure this works. Localhost. Okay, that's working. Where is my bench? Oh, because it's this was built for a white background and it's a black background. Fuck. Color. White. Yeah. Is it appearing? What am I? Come see what? Add cache no store. Interesting. Just got a heads up from Eng leads at Vercel that they are triaging and war rooming to solve the bug that we were dealing with earlier. So that's good news. They've been able to successfully repro. What I'm seeing is this component not loading. blogpost.tsx, this is being used, right? Yeah. Is it because it's outside of main? That makes no sense. Oh, that is why it's happening. That's dumb. Cool. Why is the request to render time broken? Oh, this is that stupid fucking hydration bug. I know what this is. I normally solve this by disabling client-side JavaScript in the component. My solution for this is such a fucking nasty hack. What I can do is... You guys are not ready for this nasty hack. How can I easily client only this? I am regretting how nasty the hack I did for this previously is immensely right now. Or unknown. All right, this is an array. Dot. Fuck, this is actually so annoying to get right. Const count equals. dot, or I'll have store. This is so annoying. That's last equals store.length -1. And what I want here is last or unknown. Wait, no, I don't want last. I want first because I put it at the top. I'm stupid. Oh, let's not name that anymore. Cool. That does what it's supposed to now. I don't need this image tag. And I don't even need that title anymore because it's not necessarily accurate. That should be different every time. Get. Yeah, it's not defined. I know that. It's... Let's get last time equals no window, return -1. What's the thing you do to check now? They always change it. Is it type of window equals undefined? Yeah, I'm using the wrong thing here. No. Key. So it was the last one. I was right on that. Store.length -1. Fixed. Smarter than React's hydration. Nice. So, sorry I've just been silent and hacking and angry constantly. The reason is kind of good, I promise. What happened here is I have this script, and I put this in a script tag because I want this to run before all of the next bullshit comes in. I want this in the HTML so that it can run instantaneously. The reason for that is I want to measure from when the request goes out, which is window.performance.timing.request start, to the current time, which is when this JS runs, how much time happened between those things, from when the request was sent out to literally right this moment, right when the client now has the HTML, and in this case, the JS too. How much time is between those? And then I do that in vanilla JS because I need the number so I can write it in here. But then when the React code hydrates, it says, no, fuck you, we don't have anything there. So it just overrides that after. So what I'm doing is grabbing the value from the local store that I create to keep track for benchmarking so that when this renders and hydrates in React land, the value it sees is the same as the value that this overrode things to. This is evil, but this isn't meant to be production code at all. This is meant to be me benchmarking things as effectively as I possibly can. Let's take a look. 161 millisecond total. What? Okay, this is what's interesting. Oh, I see what's happening. Cool. I'm happy I put this up top. See this guy? Notice how the page isn't being recreated. The page created at time is staying the same, so this is being cached. How does that work, though? How does this know when to bust the cache? I'm not sure how I feel about caching that by default. Yeah, it seems like this partial is being cached, but this partial is super low. This partial's in the same place where the fetch happened. So this partial should be busted every time because we don't know if this is hitting a cache or not. Mayank asked, isn't this how Next works in V12? It is not. In V12, you determine the behavior based on how you await. You do it in a get static props, which will only happen once on build, or you do it in get server side props, which happens every time, and you add a like invalidation time otherwise. So this being, I understand that this is being cached. What I don't understand is that this is being cached. I want to know how to opt out a component. Server components are static by default. Where is this in the docs? Okay, this looks promising. Test await. Use async await. Async await. Static data cache data. Interesting. So does this do like at initial build time a pass through to see which fetches have which cache strategies and then determine how to behave or how to treat the entire route based on that? Because that is fascinating. This is really cool and slightly cursed. Get commit. What if we don't store? Step 5, you said. Interesting. So default is cache, force cache. Get server side props is cache, no cache. And get static props with revalidate is get static props with the next revalidate. Very interesting. What's particularly interesting is that this is React in quotes, and then this is Next in quotes. The boundaries of what owns what here is strange. Yeah, much slower now. That's expected. The cold start will be bad, but that's the old one. Yep, we're getting a new response every time, which we see there, but we're also getting much slower fetches as we see here. I do check YouTube chat. I just don't check it anywhere near as often because it's way harder for me to like have access to. Cool. Yeah, 1.4 seconds. That's going to be the case on a cold start, which is going to be rough. Yeah. Turns out CDNs are cool. It's almost like I have a tweet about that. Make sure I'm not accidentally leaking DMs again. I'm not. Oh. Hanging with Madison was great. But I'm here for my own tweets. Here's the CDNs are cool. Here, this guy. This banger went super underrated, especially knowing that this is the default now. Oh, what's... Yeah, that's a little scary. These changes to fetch are not things I knew about before, and these are scaring me more and more. Turbo pack stuff too, fun. Cool that Evan's down. That's good to see. Good shit. Evan's great unless he starts talking about magic strings. Can I deploy a client component fetch with use effect or React query to Vercel? Why wouldn't I be able to? Yes, absolutely I can. Server components have effectively been like out for this level of consumption for less than 24 hours. So yeah, we got like a little bit to figure out how chaotic things are. By using a dynamic function or dynamic data fetching. How is a function marked dynamic? User cookies. Okay, how do I get that? Wait, what? What? This is very different. Interesting. Where was I? Using dynamic fetch. Okay, so is there a way I can like tell Next that a function's dynamic that isn't using fetch? How do I like here's a basic example. Gonna get rid of the cache no store here. Const get random. Div random number. How do I tell Next to not cache this? So if I get status, get add p, get testing random. Dev environments haven't been deployed because dev environment doesn't have caching built in, which honestly it probably should considering how absurdly different these behaviors are. Refresh this till I have my new build. Vercel wants my example of things being broken. Let me go push that up for them. Next 13. This is what I was calling it, right? Yeah, cool. GH repo create. status. Make sure it's all. Yep. BR/13 test. Setting this to Vercel quick. 1 second. Cool. Vercel guys have access to everything they need. I'll say they're fucking on top of this. Just huge shout out to them. They've been war rooming constantly. I think they had too much like banking on this release, and it's definitely a little rushed as a result because like there was a huge event. They needed to have things working and ready for it. But they're also working really hard to get these things fixed still, even post event. And I have a lot of respect for that. Cool. What was I doing before? Oh yeah, I was testing to see if this would be random or not. Async. Yep, see how this, every time I refresh now, is the same random number? The reason for that is that this code never reruns. And now what I'm curious about is how do I tell Next, hey, by the way, I know this thing, this get random thing, is not your usual bullshit, but I want this to rerun on every request. How do I tell them to do that? It seems like right now the entry and exit point for rerunning code and determining what is or isn't cached, it isn't on the component, it's on fetch. Export const revalidate. Does that work in the server component? I'm expecting this to not work because I think you have to do it on the like top level like route thing. But I'm curious. Does cache or does revalidate work here? Yeah, I'm almost certain that has to happen in the page component. But I'm curious because again, this is not to just shit all over everything. This is what happens when you go all in on file-based routing, is that these types of configurations have to exist in very specific files, and you don't know if it's right or wrong because you're exporting random names into the void and hoping that they're correct. Remix has this problem way worse, to be fair, but this, I hate this. I hate this so much. And it looks like the redeploy happened, but the revalidate does not work here. But if I go and I yoink this and I put it here, validate should work here though. Keep an eye for when the build's done. At least the builds are fast. I have to do an oops, we broke fetch video now. Great. Okay, it's a 20-second revalidate. Probably should have made it shorter than 20 seconds. 15, 14, 13. Okay, it's been more than 20 seconds. Oh, wait, guess not. There we go. Cool, it works there. I got the wrong repo. Oh, for you guys for debugging. Oh, I haven't pushed. I'm so sure I did. Oh, my bad. Yeah, thank you guys. I fucking pushed that one. Oh no, that's a different 13 test. Shit, my bad. My bad, guys. I have like 5 repos I've been playing with. Oh, I know. It was in stream. My bad. GH repo, create attempt 2. Wait, no, I don't want to fucking create a new one from scratch. Push. Here you guys go. Can you get that to Jeff for me? I'll just do it on here quick. Cool. That should be good now. Sorry again, guys. Wait, I just got rated with 153 people from Ellen. Thank you so much, Ellen. Huge shout out. Sorry I missed that. I'm in the middle of helping debug a ton of shit. If you're not already following Ellen, please do. Wrong button. Assuming they are another software dev streamer. Yes, they are. What were they doing earlier? Coding. Good shit. Welcome. Thanks for the raid. Really appreciate it. Good to have more people in the dev community. Always crazy seeing new 100 viewer plus dev streamers. Super hype. Missed a ton of subs too. Brendan with the resub, 3 months in. Appreciate that. Music with the Prime. Sire with the Prime as well. Smith with the Prime as well. Leonardo with a Prime. Henrik, I don't remember if I thanked you or not. 3 months in though. Appreciate it a ton. Yeah, thank you so much for the raid, Ellen. Sorry that I missed it when it happened. I've been deep in chaos. My bad on that. New layout, same meaning layout changing. How to handle if your subdirectory URL, but you want to use its own layout without the parent. They have some weird like ... stuff where you can move things in and out on the file-based side without changing the routing. Check Twitter. Oh boy. Let me open that over here quick. Oof. I'll open that here quick. This is going to be a long release cycle, boys. I haven't felt this bleeding edge in a while, so thank you for that, Vercel. It's binding itself to itself as a sub. It's a massive monkey patch to an essential thing, which is response object. It's scary. Just bad overriding of things that shouldn't be touched. You feel this bleeding edge in a while and you're Ukrainian. Yeah, this shit hurts. I know I'm uniquely, and I should be clear about this. I have this horrifying curse where every single way a piece of software can break, I will break it many times. And it seems like I'm running into that right now, where all of the things that are slightly off about this release right now, I am just running into head first. What's my overall opinion on V13? The new APIs, 7 out of 10. The new functionality is 9 out of 10. The current state of stability is 4. It's pretty rough at the moment. For what it's worth, the Vercel guys love me because they like that I break all of these things. Normally, I don't break them on stream, but I was excited to try things that were released. And this is what happens when I try things without trying them separately myself way more ahead of time. What did I want to look up? Yo, Jedi with the 10, or with the super chat on YouTube, said that he really enjoys the channel. Thanks for introducing him to Tailwind and React. As a backend engineer, it's really awesome. Awesome. I don't know if you know this about me. I started in backend doing mostly video infra stuff, and I moved over to frontend because of React and TypeScript. And now I'm like swinging back the other way really fast. I know what I wanted to do. NextJS 13. Actually, does anybody know, before I have to like search for it, how to do Edge in this? Edge and Node runtimes. Oh, perfect. Aha. Status. That's the wrong repo. Oh, did I fucking... I'm so fucking stupid. Okay, I'm sorry again, Vercel, third time. I just actually pushed the code to the repo I linked you guys and didn't push the code too because I'm a fucking moron. Yeah. Now you guys have that. Get status. Get add. Experimental. Just edge render, please. Another thing I'm not sure you guys noticed. The word edge barely came up like at all during the conference. Seems like it's not the focus at the moment, which is a fascinating change of things. I'm sure that will change eventually, but did that already deploy? There's no way that already deployed. Vercel. Async deploys. I'll be deploying in just a second. And look at that. Look at those response times. Mostly really good with the occasional choke, but we're under 200 milliseconds consistently because now it's on the edge. Can the people who were getting awful response times on this that were like a second and a half plus give this a shot quick? Edge no longer looks like a real word. I think that's kind of why they aren't talking about it as much, because people are just so distracted by that and like what they think it means. Full request to render time, 1197. Not too bad. 40 milliseconds. So the 40 milliseconds was when it was cached. So that's proper. When they say dynamic at the speed of static, this is the static speed. This is the edge dynamic speed. This is the native dynamic speed on Lambda. Yeah. Yeah. Here, what I can do is I'll just make 3 routes. Fuck it. We'll do static. I'll delete both of those. Rename this guy to dynamic. Actually, I rename this to Lambda. Nope. Lambda. And one more rename, or one, I need to clone it. And we'll make this one Edge. Edge needs to have both of these in it. Static needs to have neither. And Lambda needs to have just the revalidate. Status. Does revalidate 0 work? So it always does it? To be clear, like all of these options are blocking on this fetch here. I don't care to remove the cache from the fetch. I don't care if this is cached or not. I could test with both it removed and not removed, but we're testing one piece at a time here, boys. Yeah, I'm sorry about the automatic mid rolls. I had to set them up that way in order to like have the bonus shit work and also to have pre-rolls not killing us all the time. Cool. So now we can go to /edge. This is the edge one. We can go to /lambda for the much slower lambda one. And we can go to static for the cached one. Cool. God. Does this new fetch work with internal files? I don't know quite what you mean by that, Omar. I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm pretty dead. I was excited to play with these things, but I ran into enough various issues that now I'm exhausted. Think it might be time to find someone to raid. Sorry for the shorter than usual show. I do think we might do a surprise stream tomorrow, though. Sorry again also for the baiting around guests, but we have some fun stuff planned, I do promise. I appreciate y'all immensely. This is by far the most insane viewership I've had on a stream. Just like absurdly so. Did not expect this, but I'm fucking hyped on it. Let's find someone cool to raid. Got any of my homies live? Trying to find someone real fun for us to throw y'all at. Ooh, Sam could be fun. Yeah, let's throw you guys at Sam. Sam's fun. This is Sam. They're great. It'll be a fun stream. I can't actually tell what they're working on at the moment, but I'm sure you guys will have a lot of fun with them. This was a fantastic stream. Hopefully see you guys tomorrow, as long as all goes well. Yeah, go have some fun over there. Fantastic show. Tell them I said hey. See you guys tomorrow or next week. Peace, nerds. Unlucky 13. That's funny. Oh, your cow is excited to see more. Oh. Oh. Very cute. I appreciate that. Yeah. See you guys over in Cat stream. Sam stream. Peace, nerds.